Hey, good morning for another 18 minutes. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well or as well as can be. And dial that back a little. Okay, good. Excuse me. So as you can see, I'm back. Can see me. Figured out what was going on with my camera. So that's a plus. And it's kind of just, I'm gonna jump into, we'll do the recap and outlook. Forgive my voice. I think I don't want to say it, but got a little scratch in the back of my throat. So a lot of vitamin C, and just came from the store. So a lot of fluid will be consumed today, and some rest. So let's go ahead and jump up to a daily, and then I'm gonna take my annotations off the chart, make it a little cleaner, and we'll just look at the week that was. So this being Friday, excuse me, Wednesday, Tuesday. So come back here to Monday. I always have to look over, make sure my head's not in the way. Cool. So starting here on Monday, again, Monday we cleared out. Friday buy side, and this was just basically a move up. So essentially it just depends. It depends on what your if you trade, or if you're looking at like weekly profile, you're looking at like highs or lows of the week. So in this particular instance, what we ended up having, because my bias from last week, I was looking for short. So I was looking for either like a Tuesday, Wednesday high of the week. I wasn't looking for a low of the week, because as I was looking at this structure, which now as we see it, as we see this previous week, why I was incorrect. There's a lot of, if you want to call, like somebody would look at this and say, okay, you could put a trend line on here. And if somebody was trading trend lines, they would have said to me, oh my gosh, well, of course we're bullish. Of course we're bullish. We broke out, and we're we're off to the races. So, if you're a trend line trader, congratulations. But yours truly, I was completely wrong. Well, I was looking at bearish delivery, and my presumption was we'd probably take out a protected high of some sort, or retrace back into some excuse me, an old high that might precipitate continued shorts. I was looking for shorts. I was wrong. So we ended up with not a Tuesday high of the week or a Wednesday high of the week, but we ended up with a Tuesday low of the week, just based on the profile, right? But again, based on my bias, once I saw, excuse me, again, good grief, we had taken just, barely by the body. We took Friday, and then Tuesday, again, barely, if not just creating, relative equal highs with Monday. Maybe could have seen, and then Wednesday pulled a Chappelle on me, like, gotcha. You fill in the blank. I'm not gonna say that, but I take that back. I am gonna say it. Wednesday pulled the gotcha, bitch. So I didn't. We still have this inefficiency, but the long and the short, we had a Tuesday low of the week. Advancement in price up to Wednesday. Essentially, Thursday was an inside, and Friday basically took out both sides of Thursday's candle. So technically, we're sitting inside of Wednesday, if you're looking at this from a a weekly perspective. Now, if you're looking, let's just say from a candle range perspective, I'm going to put the annotations back on it. Hopefully, yeah, that's not going to work very well. I'm going to make a copy of this and let's see if we can, what's today, 25. I'll just do it this way. All right, cool. So let's just look at it from a candle range, from a daily candle range perspective. So if we take that idea, that's a previous low of that candle range. Ooh. Try to get these where these line up. All right, and that is going to be your high. So if you're just looking from a candle range perspective, that's horrible. I missed that by like a country mile. There we go. Oop. All right, cool. So if you wanted to say, or you were willing to say we're inside of this, well, you could say that. So Wednesday gapped up in expansion and then a close back inside. We had this candle open. I wouldn't necessarily consider this a suit, but I would look at this as confirmation, essentially, that, yeah, you're looking for higher price. So open, it's again a mitigation, a push, a small bullish rejection, and then a closure inside. This bearish candle, yes, it did reject to the upside, but again, you're just looking at like basically like that last push. Couple things with Friday. Not only does the body of Friday close within this candle range, but also Friday, as I said earlier, kind of swept out both, right? So if you're looking at it from maybe a liquidity standpoint, you have the confirmation of this closure back inside the range. You have another closure, and then you ultimately even have basically a retracement, some level of retracement short, but a closure also inside. Here's another sweep from, again, Thursday into Friday. So the expectation could very well be, and then the overall order flow looks as if it is bullish. You could essentially look, if you're looking for something, like in terms of just like a trigger or something to show you, you could look to see tomorrow's open, if maybe there is a smaller retracement before the longs, or we might just open and run to the long side. So not financial advice, just an idea or a thought for you to go into your own charts and then kind of devise whatever your trading plan is. But there is a certain amount of probability that we'll probably run out, obviously, the buy side at this point, having closed back inside and a couple of days worth of liquidity gathering, sweeps, soups, brunch. So we'll probably be looking for buy side to be taken. Probable, not an absolute thing. So there's that. And well, actually, what is that level? 2211.50. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I could see that being a possibility. And I'm going to drop back down to the chart I was using. I lock that. And then I'm going to go down to a 5-minute and make that look a lot more neat, if you will. And then kind of also just show you what I'm looking at. So short for me, or short target, short list of bullish targets would be the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle range. This obviously being put in from yesterday. We did see continued shorts, and we actually almost tapped back into Globex open from the 22nd, but we did not. We cleared the manipulation leg or that level from the buy side, but we didn't close back inside. So we still have quite a bit of sell side back here to be run out. So not 100% sure in terms of, where and what the market might be reaching for. But I would say with this sell off from Friday, Thursday into Friday, as I love to say, and I feel like from a week to week basis, I continue to say like the same things over and over, which, kind of either help or hurt depending on perspective and depending on what's being said. But when I see this kind of move down, right, this massive sell-off, I'm looking at potential buying opportunity. So again, I'm not gonna draw it out. Like typically I would go into that. I'm kind of gonna skirt and skip that this time around. But what I would say is when you have, whether it's bullish or bearish price like this, find a framework that you can measure a range, right? Because price is never going to just free fall, and price is not ever really expanding. There are those times, I shouldn't say that, because there are those times where you have like, I would say the difference between bullish and bearish price action, almost every market is going to have some level that you can look back to whenever price is falling. Whenever you've got bearish price, you can kind of look back and see where price may be held up or what it might, test and retest before continuing to break. When it comes to bullish price action, once you get to all-time highs, like you don't know, right? So in those instances, that, like what I just said, is that's the outlier. However, if you're looking at intraday moves, and then especially if you're looking, like in this case, like maybe an outlook, just to kind of, gauge possibilities and what could be, one of the areas that you could do that is you frame time, you frame aspects of time. So with futures, you could frame anything from, the lunch hour. You could frame a 12 to 1 or 12 to 1:30. And then ultimately, if you're looking for the following day, you could frame a 1 to 4. You could frame a 1:30 to 4:15, like whatever that framework is, whatever works for you. And that kind of sometimes may give you an idea as to what you could anticipate based on Globex Open, based on what that day's price or the previous day's price did. So having said all of that, like if I'm looking at price here, obviously with this being 9:45, so this would all be up until here. This is all going to be regular trade hour, even though I have my chart set to electronic trade hours. So this entire thing, all of this price action, it's all regular trade hours, right? And it's all bearish for the most part. I've never really been big just in terms of like talking about them. I'm going to probably mention this for like the first time here, but this would almost look like, I would say a market maker buy model. Very loosely, it would look that way. Anytime you see like a drop off and it looks like price is accumulating and then it distributes, accumulation and distribution. So like this can be, you could look at this as like one complete accumulative period with a minor distribution and another minor distribution. So this could be 1, and then this is 2, and now 3. So it just depends on what your knowledge and interest in market maker models are. Some people say that they're 3 ladders, some people say they're 2. It's just recognizing that you're in a you're in the sell protocol for a market maker model. But this being a market maker, what looks like, I'm not saying it is, what looks like a market maker buy model, this could have been basically the sell aspect or the sell program initiated. So if you really wanted to stretch three, you could say, well, that's one, this is two, that's three. And this could possibly be essentially the point at which you may see, and you see a little bit of it here, come back into a level. So this could be looked upon as, say, like an established low. So you could say, and that is a swing low. So this could be an established swing low. You could see price basically come back up, and you could look at that as an order block. This could ultimately be viewed, and it just depends again on your knowledge. That essentially could be like a rejection block. So the only other thing that would kind of support that whole idea, so you've got fair value here. So again, something just to point out. It doesn't have to. It could, though. If we get maybe a movement back in here to fair value, if I hate saying stuff like this, but it's a good thing that this is recorded and it can be utilized, or we can use it as a resource in the future. But I don't want to just start marking out areas. This could be interpreted as an order block. I know I said this is a rejection, and it could be viewed as a rejection block. This fair value could actually also, I don't want to say be invalidated. You could get a wick through, but I would almost look at this as an order block. But the long and the short of what I'm saying is this could be the groundwork laid for the buy model for this market maker buy model. If indeed that's what this is, you could basically see even Globex or the open tomorrow, we could see price move back into this area of fair value. What I might be looking for is, as long as we don't get an invalidation maybe of this down close candle into this bullish price. So I would view, and that's kind of, like I said, it's a very loose interpretation, but just looking at the structure, I might be inclined to go with saying, hey, if we dip back through here and we just dip our toe in here, that could be considered as an order block to support price on top of a rejection block on top of a low established, unless price is just, price has its own mind to do something else. But this could be the propulsion that could push price higher. And obviously, for me, I mean, a long target would be basically just back to this 6 a.m. Candle range high from yesterday, and that would be for the week. But now that we're talking about the week, let me go into I want to pull up the economic calendar. So let's see, Monday we don't have, Monday won't really have high impact news. However, new home sales month over month and new home sales from December is considered high impact. I think that might be relegated and related to something else, but I would say it's a little bit of a reach. So not a whole lot going on Monday. That's the primary thing that they say it's high, and that information comes out at 10 a.m. Tuesday is a little bit different. We've got durable goods. That's going to be at 8:30. So that'll be something interesting to take a look at. Red Book year over year, which is not typically like high impact. Just something to be mindful of. But yeah, it's primarily durable goods. So that again, that's 8:30. That is high impact. So that could, you know, negotiate and do some things to the market. What else do we have in here? That's essentially it after Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got our trade balance also at 8:30. So consensus is 105.4 billion. The previous was 102.86 billion. I kind of think that number is going to be higher than what the consensus is. So it just, you know, I'll say that and I'll leave that there. We also have on the 29th, which is Wednesday, we have the Fed press conference, which is going to be at 2:30, but we have the Fed interest rate at 2. So that is obviously high impact news. But the difference with this is, I will just say it this way: like if you're knowledgeable about what you're looking for, then I'm not going to tell you to be in a position or not to be in a position. I would just simply say Powell and basically the Federal Reserve have already stated like what the policy is, and this whole wait and see for future guidance. So we went into December. Everybody already knows that they did the quarter point in December. So essentially, it's kind of like the 4.5 is what they expect it to be this time around, which is 4.5. But because it's a rate decision, it's been a week into a new, I don't want to call it an era, but we're into a new administration within a week. So there could be signals and signs, and I'm just going to say, like, whatever the decision and whatever the press conferences afterward is going to spook the market one way or another. Like I firmly believe that. So when I say spook, that's 100% manual intervention. So goes back to the previous thing. If you know and you want to get in, I personally, I would say, as I've done, unless you're tape reading or unless you're doing it in a practice account, I personally will not be doing anything on Wednesday. I might tape read, maybe do a live and tape read. I won't be here probably for like the 8:30, so it'll definitely be for the interest rate decision and the press conference. So we'll just see how that goes. But obviously, my focus is going to be primarily between tomorrow, actually Tuesday after the news events of 8:30 and 10, and then that probably will shut it down for the week. But obviously, we've got Fed rate and a press conference Wednesday. Thursday, excuse me. There's no high impact. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back. Thursday is actually going to be, and I think it's a continuing job claims. Hang on, yeah. So Thursday is also going to be a high impact day, 8:30. So you've got initial jobless claims from the 25th from this week. You'll also have continuing jobless claims from last week, and then they'll basically do like the composite or the average. So what that would essentially mean is stay. Just a suggestion. My suggestion would be just stay out, because you're gonna have so many swings potentially in all of that. Remember, you'll have initial jobless claims from this week. You'll have continuing from the previous week, which is a revision, and then a cumulative 4-week average for all. So just looking at these numbers, it's not a huge swing, but it's enough to where it'll move the needle on both sides. You may get equal participation that, takes you in and allows you to be favorable, and then you get a whipsaw or a swing back. So, yeah. And Friday is core PCE. So, yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, I would say definitely tape read days for me, PA days for me, and I will take my ball and I will stay home with it. So, but yeah, that's that'll wrap this recap and outlook for today. So I hope you guys are doing well. Before I do go, I want to thank everybody that tuned in last week. We had like some really good live sessions, so I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and just chatting it up. I think we had like I feel like we had a really good time in chat talking and a little bit of the tomfoolery. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for Globex. So we'll be live for Globex Open, and see if this pans out. We'll see what that does, and what if anything we can make of it. So look forward to that. So yeah, you guys have a good Saturday. I'm gonna try to get some more fluid, get some rest, and I'll see you next time. Take care.